Welcome to Market Opening on our collab show between Business Today and India Today TV just after 9, and we're here to get you all the opening trade set up. Here's a look at what's hot in the corporate and financial space this morning. US President Donald Trump and China's Xi Jinping to meet in South Korea on Thursday, a key step towards easing trade tensions. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says both sides have reached a final TikTok deal and agreed on a tariff truce ahead of the summit. Wall Street closed at record highs on Friday. US futures in the green. Japan's Nikkei crosses 50,000 for the first time, leading a broad Asian rally ahead of key global trade talks. Reliance and Meta have launched a new enterprise, AI JV, in India, investing 855 crore rupees. Reliance Intelligence will hold 70% and Facebook oversees 30%, with Reliance Enterprise Intelligence set to develop and expand AI services. Q2 earnings season heats up today. Today results from IOC and Mazgaon Dock. Midweek, keep an eye on Coal India, SAIL, L&T and HPCL. Thursday brings ITC, NTPC and Cipla, while Friday sees Maruti Suzuki and BPCL. India's leading eyewear retailer Lenskart set to debut on the stock market with its IPO opening 31st October, aiming to raise 7,278 crore rupees. Price band fixed at 382 to 402 rupees per share. All right, morning. Let's take a look at the trades set up overnight. Wall Street cues as well as Asian market cues positive, fueled by, of course, trade talks ongoing between Trump and Asian countries right now. We've got S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow all up. In fact, NASDAQ and Dow up over 1% or more. And that green color filtering into the Asian markets this morning as well, with the Nikkei in particular looking nice and strong, up over 2%, and Kospi as well. 2.5% coming in there. Let's welcome in Shailendra Bhatnagar, our Chief Analyst Editor Markets, as well as Amrish Baliga, our guest for this morning, to discuss the trade setup and the outlook going forward. Shail, let me get first a look at the technicals for you. We've been trying to hit that 26,000 and stay above it. Looks like it's just within, catching distance.
Yes, very good morning to you, Aabha. The beginning of a fresh week, but we are a day away from the monthly expiry of the broader market in the F&O space. And we've seen a very sharp rally, about 1,700 points on the Nifty, about 2,500 points on the Bank Nifty in the month of October. So a time for pause, time to digest. At the same time, crude oil prices globally are going up because of geopolitical changes, and gold and silver is easing a bit. So easing of gold and silver prices is good for Indian equities. We should hold 25,800, but 26,000 is in sight, because in just 2-3 days you will have the monthly auto sales numbers, monthly cement sales, and all of them are going to look super good on October. So that rally is in place, but for 2-3 days the market will rest. And more importantly, you will have focus on the digital space, the manufacturing space, metal stocks in particular. So there are parts of the market that are in strength, and there are parts of the market that want to rest. Aabha.
All right, Amrish, good morning. Let me get your view on what the outlook is looking like. And we're also, of course, in the thick of earnings right now. So is that also perhaps an area of focus for you?
Absolutely, and I think the biggest trigger for the markets going ahead, I think, would be the trade deal with the US, and that I believe could be just a few weeks away, because basically there were two issues as far as the trade deal was concerned. One was the Russian oil, and the other one was about agri imports. I think both should get sorted out, because Russian oil, post November 3rd week, there are very clear indications from the Indian refiners, including Reliance, that they would reduce Russian oil imports. So I think that should be out of the way. And as far as agri imports are concerned, I think there's a proposal to import corn, which is a major issue for US. Corn and soya are the two major issues for US. So there could be imports of corn for ethanol. So with these two things, I'm surely expecting that there would be a trade deal quite soon, which could be favorable from for India and from the Indian market perspective.
Right.
And when we are talking of earnings, the best thing is that the expectations were quite low this time after the last couple of quarters when where the earnings were quite muted. I mean, as compared to expectations, whatever earnings have come till now are better than that. So that's the other trigger. Yes, I mean, oil moving up is surely a bit of an issue, but as long as it doesn't move beyond 75, 80, I think it's still manageable for India. So overall, the setup seems quite decent. Expectations, as far as the trade deal is concerned, I think I mean, that should take the markets up. The way I see the Nifty going, I mean, I think we'll clearly cross 26,000. Possibly, we could cross the earlier highs. Now, sustaining above that will depend on how various news flows, I mean, pan out.
All right, well, we'll dive deep into some of the sectors to be impacted as well with Amrish in just a moment. But let me just touch upon some of the stocks in news as we count down to the opening bell. Kotak Mahindra Bank, net profit down about 3%. Net income is up about 4%. Advances rose 16%. That's the latest in Q2 earnings. So just a marginal uptick there coming in, but asset quality has improved. So that's Kotak for you. Ola Electric in the news this morning. They've got an approval on a 1,500 crore rupee fundraise. So we'll take a closer look at that one as well. And a few others in the news for earnings. ITC Hotels, net profit jumping 74% year on year. That's to 133 crores. Also from the broader markets, Coforge, revenue growth at close to 6%, meeting expectations, while EBIT margins expanded about 80 bips to 14%. And SBI Cards, Q2 results coming in there. Net profit up 10% year on year to 445 crore rupees. Asset quality also improving. So quite a healthy bunch. Dr. Reddy's Lab net profit also has increased, up for 15%, a beat on estimates coming in there. So from these, Amrish, I'm going to just get a quick call because I'm counting down to opening bell. But which of these are you going to be watching out for or opening? Which of these numbers looked particularly good to you?
No, I mean, as far as the news flows are concerned, clearly, I think Ola would be something I would be watching out for because whenever there is some good news, along with that comes a lot of adverse news. I mean, as far as Ola is concerned, I think there's a very decent support at 48. And whatever they've been doing on the work front, I think has been quite positive, especially the Giga factory inauguration, which they did a couple of months back. I think that is taking care of the back end. And now they are actually talking of, new verticals are being set up. I think that is also quite positive for Ola. But I think the adverse news which keeps coming, I think that has to stop for something like, this stock to move up decently well.
Right. All right, let's take a look at those opening ticks then. Amrish, Nifty 50 up just about 0.2%. So in the green, good start coming in. Let's pull up some of the other indices and the gainers and losers, and we'll also take a quick look at some of these newsmakers in just a moment. But the IT index, 0.2% as well. Currently, as we speak, we've got SBI Life, Hindalco, Tata Steel. So SBI Life is looking pretty healthy this morning. Shriram Finance, RIL is steady, BEL is steady. Earnings expected this week. So a good start on that front. On the downside, we've got an in-fee profit booking for sure. Kotak Mahindra Bank post earnings, just a touch there. Zomato or Eternal is just a touch in the red at this point of time. Dr. Reddy's also post earnings, just a minor tick in the red right now. Let's pull up Ola Electric. Let's take a look at how Ola's doing this morning on the back of the fundraise, for the electric venture, and see how that's reacting as well. And some of the other earning action stocks as well. Ola Electric down 2.5%. That's what we were anticipating. And as Amrish said, it's clearly just a lot of the other negative news in the market that continues to weigh on that stock. Shell, what else are you spotting on opening bell?
Well, Aabha, it's a strong start, and that's good news for the markets. You've marked IT. I would like to point out Coforge, a very strong breakout backed by earnings. And of course, the top traded on the National Stock Exchange at the moment. What you see is the highest level since July 22nd. So this is a breakout that's happening backed by strong earnings. Apart from that, you have a strong move coming into Hindalco, fresh record high. There is a very strong move into Cummins in India. That is also at a record high. Asahi India is doing very well. Advanced decline ratio is in top shape. 1600 stocks in the green versus 450 in the red. And if you look at what the top gainers are, well, it's the realty, the mid-cap space, oil and gas, and metals. So metals we've marked. Oil and gas we need to look out because crude oil prices are rising. And of course, who can forget the Strong's earnings show at Coforge. Aabha.
All right. Let's pull up Coforge for you again, just very quickly. Just take a look at that chart. And I'll just pull up some of the others that have reported earnings. 6% on a Coforge almost. That's fantastic, as Shell pointed out. Let's pull up an SBI Cards, and also let's take a look at ITC Hotels and just see how some of those are also reacting to earnings this morning. SBI Cards down 3% actually on earnings, and I'll ask Amrish if he's taken a look at that recently. ITC Hotels is steady, up about 0.6%. SBI Cards, Amrish, I don't know if you've looked at it, but the numbers, net profit is up 10%, asset quality is good. Markets don't seem to be too enthused.
No, in fact, I think markets were expecting slightly better numbers from SBI Cards. So I think that's a bit of a disappointment, because of which we have seen a correction. But I think this correction should be bought into. And as far as ITC Hotels are concerned, I think extremely good set of numbers. I'm quite surprised the stock has not really moved up much more than what it is right now.
That's definitely one surprising us this morning. Let's also pull up a few other earnings reactions. Zen Technologies, that one is also taking a dip on the back of earnings this morning. Just give a minute to pull that up for you on your screen. And we also have eClerx that's up on buyback news. So Zen there is down 6% on earnings. So markets are not being easy where they're seeing disappointment. So down 6% on a Zen while we're up 6% on a Coforge. And let's pull up eClerx for you as well. Some buyback news coming in there. Let's take a look at whether or not that stock is reacting on that news. I think we are seeing a bit of an uptick coming in on an eClerx this morning. 3.5%, almost 4% now on an eClerx. But clearly, oil continues to be a talking point. So Amrish, just probing that a little further, because we did see a hit on some of the OMCs last week, of course, on the back of the news. But overall, not sure how much this is going to impact a retail investor's portfolio. If we just take a look at it from a stock implication point of view, Reliance, of course, we're in watch and wait mode to see what happens there.
No, that's true, Aabha. Like I said, unless oil goes beyond that 70-75, I don't think it's going to really hurt too much. But yes, the ones would be hurt first would be the OMCs, the refineries. I think they would be the ones which will get hurt. But above 75, I think it's going to hurt the market overall, because then the issue comes as far as the inflation is concerned, that can go up.
Absolutely. All right, Shell, I'm just going to come to you quickly to see what other bright spots you're seeing in the broader markets. I know a whole host of these names are moving on earnings and other news. What else is cropping up on your screen?
Aabha, I think eClerx has hit a record high. There is a buyback that's announced at 4,500 rupees per share. 6.6 lakh shares is what the company will buy back, and that's adding to a lot of enthusiasm on the stock. That's something that you can look at. No stopping the entire PSU banking stock space. The relative strength of the PSU banking sector is amazingly strong. Look at how Canara Bank is performing. Look at how strength is coming back in Bank of Baroda. Other small banks, RBL Bank is doing pretty well. Bandhan Bank in top shape. So this is a space that has a lot of strength within the entire setup. Record high on Indian Bank, record high on State Bank of India. This is a space buzzing with gains, buzzing with relatively low valuations, and buzzing with very, very strong tailwind of a government-led move for further mergers in the PSU space. And of course, metals. Nifty now gaining strength, up 82. Nifty Bank up 250. Aabha.
Okay, let's ask Amrish on both of those pockets. Let's talk about banks first, Amrish, because PSU banks, yes, for sure. We've been seeing a lot of traction there. And a lot of buy calls have been coming in on the banking space on the back of the expected boost in consumption as well. We've been seeing a lot of deal action within the banking space as well. Do you have any favorites within that pack? Are you also equally optimistic?
See, the favorites currently are the PSU banks because that's where we should see consolidation over the next 12 to 15 months. I think we'll finally have possibly about 5 to 6 large banks, and among them, clearly SBI, PNB, and Canada Bank will retain the same name and grow faster than what they have in the past couple of years. So I think these three would be on my buy list as far as the PSU banks is concerned. And among the smaller banks, clearly there is a lot of interest, especially looking at the way foreign banks and foreign investors have been investing into some of these private sector banks. Like Yes Bank, we have seen Sumitomo coming in. And there have been, 2, 3 other deals we have seen as far as the Federal Bank is concerned. So there is an expectation that there could be a couple of other smaller private sector banks which can get gobbled up by these investors.
All right. So that's on banks. What about metals, Amrish? Because if we're looking at bright spots in the market, clearly metals continue to make all the news. We've been tracking that trend even today, whether it's a Tata Steel, whether it's a Hindalco, continuing to look particularly strong. Jindal Steel as well. So metals continue to be in the spotlight.
Metals would be in the spotlight at least for the next couple of months because steel, clearly, Tata Steel, I see levels of about 240 to 250 for that. Aluminum is the other bright spot. So stocks like Hindalco and Nalco should be on the buy list.
Hindalco, in fact, and Nalco both are looking particularly strong today. I know, Shell, that you can get very excited about the charts here. Are there new highs that we're witnessing?
Yes, Aabha, I think as Amrish points out, Hindalco will see much better days ahead, despite the fact that it's rallied very sharply over the last month or so. So this is something to be looked out for, and it's a poorer cousin in the PSU space, National Aluminium. Deep value to be had there. A record high on National Aluminium are way away. So that's a good space to look at.
All right, great. Now, Prime Minister Modi yesterday addressed the ASEAN summit virtually, reaffirming that India stands strong with ASEAN nations, highlighting shared values. And he said the ASEAN countries, home to a quarter of the world's population, are not just trade partners but cultural allies, declaring 2026 as the year of India. ASEAN Maritime Corporation, Prime Minister Modi underscored ASEAN's role as a key pillar of India's Act East policy. Listen in.
भारत और आसियान मिलकर विश्व की लगभग 1/4 जनसंख्या को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं। हम सिर्फ ज्योग्राफी ही शेयर नहीं करते, हम गहरे ऐतिहासिक संबंधों और साझे मूल्यों की डोर से भी जुड़े हुए हैं। भारत हर आपदा में अपने आसियान मित्रों के साथ मजबूती से खड़ा रहा है। एचएडीआर, समुद्री सुरक्षा और ब्लू इकोनॉमी में हमारा सहयोग तेजी से बढ़ रहा है। इसको देखते हुए हम 2026 को आसियान इंडिया ईयर ऑफ मैरीटाइम कोऑपरेशन घोषित कर रहे हैं।
All right, just before we let you go, Amrish, with all of the trade talks and exciting global action happening, Shell and I were discussing last week that some of the export-related stocks may come back front and center, from the broader markets. We might see some renewed interest there. Do you also see that? Is that something you're watching out for?
Absolutely, because once the trade agreement is through, the sectors and stocks which are battered because of the tariffs, I think they are the ones which will start moving up quite sharply. And among them, clearly, would be the textiles and the marine exports. I think these are the two sectors which were battered quite badly because of the tariffs.
All right. Amrish, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Always a pleasure. Shell, it looks like we're on set for that 26,000 mark and perhaps staying above it this time. Steady on the Nifty, but we do have some stocks which the market has not been responding well to, whether it be in Ola Electric, whether it be SBI Cards numbers. So we do have some pockets that are continuing to trend in the red. Zen Technologies also down on earnings, not looking so pretty there. But on the other hand, we're also seeing some great traction action, whether it be on SBI Life Insurance, e-clerks on the buyback, metal names as we were just discussing, and some amount of relief buying coming in on those OMCs as well, at least for the moment. So that's where we'll leave it there this morning on Market Opening. But do tune in to catch all the closing action with us at 3 p.m. Thank you.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro, the true flagship killer.